It's 3 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item is Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3 is the invocation offered by Commissioner Grot.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please bow our heads. Dear God, we thank you for your blessings as we come together today for this very important meeting. Please guide us in the directions of doing good to the people who elected us to serve. We are your servants to the people, but we are also your servants. We pray to you, God, for our country, for our state, for our Macomb County, and our leaders in the positions of power. Continue to bless us all and the citizens that we are representing. We say this in the name of the Father, Almighty Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Grot. Item 4, need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Romano adopts the agenda.
Support. Any discussion? Please vote. All those in favor? Yeah, please vote. Yeah, I see it's back there.
Looking, thinking at Adriana.
Motion passes 10-0.
Very good. Item number 5, approve the motion to approve minutes, items 5A and B. Okay, have a motion to approve the minutes? Support from somebody?
Support.
Support from Commissioner Hall. Any discussion on the minutes? Please vote.
Yes. Motion passes 11-0.
Very good, thank you. Item 6 is public participation. This is the first opportunity for anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on any item on the agenda. You have 3 minutes after that. Anyone from the public wishes to be heard on any item on the agenda. There'll be a time at the end of the meeting to participate in anything else on the agenda that you'd like to speak about. Is anyone from the public? Anyone from the public? Seeing no one from the public, will close public participation. Item 7 is proclamations. Occupation 7A, proclamation commending Aiden Turner for achieving the status of Eagle Scout, offered by Commissioner Romano and Commissioner Perna. Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Please vote. And the motion. All those in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Commissioner Perna, you'd like to present the resolution? Commissioner
Mr. Romano?
Thank you. Can I get Mr. Turner up there to the podium and his scoutmaster?
Yeah, it's going to be done there.
Pull this out over here, if I may. I can really appreciate this for Scout Turner. I never made the Eagle Scout, but I got pretty close. But I was about 14 or 15 years old and found out there were things more interesting than being a Boy Scout. Why are you holding your head? Oh, he holds his head over there. Anyway, this is a proclamation, and it's a proclamation from the complete Board of Commissioners. And it's whereas the Boy Scouts of America was founded in 1910 with the goal of encouraging boys to participate in an organization which fosters and develops physical as well as mental well-being through programs centered around outdoor and educational activities and civic affairs, specifically aimed at developing good citizenship and healthy, useful living. And whereas Aiden William Turner of Boy Scout Troop 349 of Christ Lutheran Church, we're going to get you to smile a little bit? Okay, hold it right there. In Sterling Heights, Michigan, has faithfully and devotedly adhered to the teachings and principles of the Boy Scouts of America and participated to such an extent that he has earned and achieved the highest rank possible, that of Eagle Scout, which is worthy of public acknowledgement and commendation by this body. And whereas To earn this rank, Aiden William Turner completed a major community service project by leading the planning and completion of a landscaping project in Clinton Township, excuse me, for the exterior of the senior center. Aiden William Turner planned and constructed 4 new 4x4 boxes made to replace the pollination boxes for the exterior of the senior center garden club. And whereas concentrating on the aesthetics, Aiden put in a bird bath, signage, and finished the landscaping with wood chips. Aiden William Turner, through his coordination, devotion of time, and leadership skills, designed and organized this successful project. Mr. Turner was able to stay within his budget, and leftover funds were donated to the garden club. During this valuable community service, Aiden William Turner proved his strong leadership skills and worthiness as an Eagle Scout. Now therefore be it proclaimed by this Board of Commissioners, speaking for and behalf of all county residents as follows, that by these presents, the Macomb County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly acknowledge and commends Aiden William Turner on achieving the status of Eagle Scout, a goal that is sought by all who join the Boy Scouts of America, but is rarely attained and which truly deserves public recognition. Be it further resolved that a suitable copy of this proclamation be presented to Aiden William Turner in recognition of his achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. And if I may now, I'll have Eagle Scout Turner give a short summation of how he felt doing all this work, and then I have his Scoutmaster here also. You're up.
When I did it, it was kind of hard, but then, like, I got through it because I had help from my dad and my parents and my grandparents. So I want to say thank you to all of them.
Good. Scoutmaster, come on up. Give your name.
My name is William Turner. I'm actually the troop committee
Is that the
chairperson.
same name as this young man?
Yes, it is. So, I guess from what the status I've been given, 6% of all scouts attain Eagle Scout. So it is a very small club. He put a lot of work into it. The scouts do it, the Eagle Scout candidates do it on their own. They're not, it's not like they're spoon-fed this. So he had to plan it, he had to execute it. He turned in $643 to the senior center for them to spend as they please. So I know I'm very proud of him too. So thank you.
This proclamation was given to Mr. Turner by Mr. Turner and myself. This is yours. Somebody wants to go take a picture. Here we go. Come on in, Dad.
Can I say something?
No, he's short. No, he doesn't say anything. Hunch, take a picture, Hunch.
Just push it down.
I'm gonna slide this over.
I know, all the time. They bang.
Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, and before you can become a Boy Scout, you have to be a Cub Scout. I was a Cub Scout. Most of you probably don't know what a Cub Scout is. That's 50 years ago when you made potholders at somebody's house. And then you became a Boy Scout and then an Eagle Scout. So you bypassed the Cub Scout, but
Oh,
congratulations.
Cub Scout.
You were a Cub Scout?
This guy's Aero Flight right here.
I stand corrected. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Item 7B, need a motion to approve a proclamation congratulating Eisenhower High School dance team for placing the national championships by Commissioner Grot. Need a motion to receive and file.
So moved by Nard. Support Lucido.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Item 8, appointments. Community Mental Health Services Board appointments. We have 4 vacancies, 3-year terms from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2027. We have round 1, we have a primary person or family member who served. You have to choose one. Your name will be called and you'll make a selection.
Commissioner Grot,
Bill Kraft,
Commissioner Ha,
Bill Kraft.
Commissioner Kraft,
Awkward. Craft.
Commissioner Lucido,
Kraft.
Commissioner Nard,
Kraft.
Commissioner Perna,
I have to think about this, but Kraft.
Commissioner Romano,
Kraft.
Commissioner Sabatini,
Craft.
Commissioner Vansickle,
Craft.
Commissioner Song,
Kraft.
Commissioner Zinner,
Kraft.
Chair Brown.
Kraft.
We have a majority of 12 for Commissioner Kraft.
Very good. Congratulations, Commissioner. Now on the second round, we've got to choose 3 people on the second tier. Your name's called. Please place your vote. Name 3 people if you like.
Commissioner
Please call.
Grot,
Okay.
Donna Cangemi, Mark Kilgore, Lori Phillips. Sorry if I mispronounced somebody's name, I apologize.
Commissioner Haw,
Donna Cangemi, Mark Kilgore, and Lori Phillips.
Commissioner Kraft,
Cangemi, Kilgore, and Phillips.
Commissioner Lucido,
Cangemi, Phillips, and Kilgore.
Commissioner Nard,
Cangemi, Harvey, and Phillips.
Commissioner Perna,
Cangemi, Kilgore, Phillips.
Commissioner Romano,
Cangemi, Lori Phillips, Mark Kilgore.
Commissioner Sabatini,
Cangemi, Kilgore, and Phillips.
Commissioner Vansickle,
Cangemi, Harvey, and Jones.
Commissioner Song,
Cangemi, Harvey, Phillips.
Commissioner Zinner,
Cangemi, Kilgore, and
Chair Brown.
Cangemi, Kilgore, and Phillips.
Okay. So we have a majority for Cangemi. We have 12 votes. Also for Kilgore, 9 votes, and Phillips, 10 votes. The remaining, I had 3 for Harvey, 1 for Jones, 0 for Friedman, Gammicchia, Lang, and Lyons, and Vice. So Cangemi, Kilgore, and Phillips received the majority.
Very good. Congratulations to those who received the majority, as well as all those who applied. We're so lucky to have so much interest in our community mental health for the county, and we've had a pledge that we could work and incorporate you into what we do at the county with the CMH board. There's plenty of opportunities, and we need all the help we can get. And these are only positions that are on the board, but there's so many things that else that need to be done. And so we encourage you to don't walk away, but stay close to the board, and they'll find a way to work you in the process. So thank you so much. Thank you, Chair Kraft, for your service as well on leading the board. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Mr. Chair. And with that, can I make an official motion
Please.
to appoint Donna Cangemi, Mark Kilgore, Phil Kraft, and Lori Phillips to the CMH board?
You can, and there's support for that. Support by Commissioner Grot. Please vote.
Romano votes yes.
Nard votes yes.
Grot votes yes.
Perna, yes.
I'll call the names of the rest that the system didn't capture. Chair Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Grot,
Yes.
Commissioner Haw,
Yes.
Commissioner Kraft,
Yes.
Commissioner Zinner.
Yes.
Motion passes 12-0.
Very good. Thank you. Item 9 is a presentation by GCSI, legislative update by our lobbyist, Carrie Owen. Carrie, come on up.
Chair, I'll make the motion to receive and file.
Support.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and hello, commissioners. How is everybody today? I thought that the best way to do this is just a little bit more conversational. So if there's anybody that has questions throughout.
Did you pick up that microphone and put it up towards you? If it's there? Oh, it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You want me, is that
Gotcha.
better?
I got it. Thank you.
Lansing is a really interesting place right now, and I'm not sure that it's really the fault of anybody there or in charge. We've got just a really unique landscape with a couple of situations that have occurred. Number one, 2 individuals from the House ran for mayor Of course, one of our own here, Commissioner Zong, will be joining us most likely up in Lansing relatively shortly. Another in Westland. And because of that, the House fell to a 54-54 split since those individuals stepped down near the end of the year. Because of that, Lansing has been basically completely in gridlock early part of the year. Again, when you start to look at the process and the system with one party control that we saw in 2010 with the Republicans and all of the sweeping reforms that happened then through 2012 in that session, I think Commissioner Hall was in the legislature during that time.
Blame me.
And really, this session is similar to that session, with Democrats taking all three legs of the stool and really putting a lot of sweeping reforms in place last calendar year. And as we've headed into this calendar year with a 54-54 House and tight margins in the Senate, we've seen a lot of, I would say, more planning than actual legislative votes and things that are getting sent to the governor's desk. The governor did move an $82 billion budget recommendation in February that was presented to the legislature. They have started work on that budget, and I think, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay with you, it might make some sense for us to come back maybe in May even, and or June, because each month we're going to start getting more and more action and activity and things that we can actually talk about as we start to look at activity in Lansing between now and the end of the year. It's an election year. The House of Representatives is up, as are all of the congressionals, and all attention in Lansing will be on those elections. We will have new districts drawn. Those districts are in the court right now, and the court is looking, it could end up with a special master. We don't know the exact maps or how they will look. We don't know what they will say on filing and so many different moving pieces, but we do see the filing deadline relatively quickly upon us. And then we'll start to see a landscape, but it's going to be, in a presidential year with a really tight House, almost all of the attention in Lansing will start to shift immediately kind of away from the process and into the districts as folks start to knock doors and start to look at, what that makeup will be. So you've got right now, actually, as of today, really, the Michigan legislature is on a 2-week legislative recess for spring break that goes through that first week of April. They will come back, and I believe as the 2 seats are filled, they will have about, historically speaking, through kind of the middle of June. That last week of June will be about when they will wrap it up with all budget activity, and they will really shut it down until after the election in November for kind of another month of activity. If the Democrats hold on to the House, I don't think that we'll see a really crazy lame duck session. I think we'll, knowing that everybody's returning and knowing that the governor will return for 2 years, the Senate is not up, so they will return for 2 years. So likely it'll be business as usual, kind of in lame duck, and a lot of regular stuff that's out there. And there are a lot of bills out there that it's almost hard to give an update on because there's no consensus on where they're going to end up, whether it's public safety trust fund, local revenue sharing trust fund, just all sorts of things and ideas and things that are either, have left the House and are in the Senate, but the governor hasn't weighed in yet, et cetera. So part of the reason why I mentioned maybe coming back in May or June, I think a lot of these things are going to start getting decided over the next 30 and 60 days, and how some of these dollars are going to get spent, some of these new programs and what some of those look like. And then, of course, what they're going to be focused on for that month before they break for 3 or 4 months to determine election activity. Obviously, last year was a phenomenal year for the county, and we're just really proud about all of the projects and things that we were able to secure in the budget, from the jail, $40 million for the jail, to all the way to Macomb County Community College, $26 million capital outlay project. You know, the list is 20, 30 projects long, well in hundreds of millions of dollars that came into the county over the last 2 years in the budget cycle that we fought really hard for. And really, I should say that the legislative delegation fought really hard for. And you guys should know that the legislative delegation for the county is really strong across the board. They work really hard. It's a pretty cohesive group, a lot of new members, Representative Menser, Representative Aragona, just across the board, 2 new senators, and Senator Hertel and Kleinfeld. So just a new group, a new bunch that's fighting hard for all things Macomb, and really a lot of moving pieces that are going to kind of shape over the next month and a half in the budget. If there's any specific questions about the budget or any of the things moving now, I'm happy to answer those. But I wanted to just give a kind of a general status update of what is going on up there right now, and happy to talk about anything in specific that anybody would like to.
Sure. First, Commissioner Song.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Gary. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. So last cycle, the state had a lot more money to work with, and I think this new proposed budget is more lean. So is there anything in the budget right now that you see that would benefit Macomb County? In particular, like the Mound Road project, south to 696. I know that's really critical in our area, as well as the jail. You know, certainly there's still a need to close that gap on the intake project.
Yeah, I think, if it's not already a priority, I'm sure you're going to make sure that the Mound Road project is a priority up there in short order, which is great, right? We were really excited when we got that first 32.5 million, which was larger than most other road projects that we were seeing up there. And I know that there's a big chunk that we need to see on the south side of that. So just to address the initial question. Yes and no. There's about 500 or 600 million in state general fund lapse dollars. There's a negotiation kind of back and forth with the big three. A lot of these incentives that went out to the big three, based on certain job projections and the size of certain projects, they're going to decide how much of that they need. So there might be some of that coming back to the state. I think they'll have about $1.5 billion to spend in discretionary kind of spending, which is much less than the 9 to 12 billion that you referenced in the last budget for one-time spending. The real cliff doesn't really hit for spending in the state level until about 2026. That's when they're going to have to identify some pretty serious decisions when it comes to road funding, when it comes to other areas that have benefited from one-time dollars that have come from the feds, et cetera. So the legislature this cycle has kind of, and I should say more legislative leadership, has said that they're going to do less projects, less individual projects, but there will be a number of them in the budget, and more trying to get some of these dollars into pots of money in the department that allows for locals and others to apply, and try to get some of those dollars. So that was kind of what I was referencing on some of the decisions that are being made right now, what structure the budget will take. And as that starts to become more public, we'll be able to see where we're going to try to push and fight for individual priorities. The gap for the intake center is certainly top of the list, or one of the things that on the list, as are a number of other things. But until we see where we can maneuver, it'll be hard to see what we're going to really push for or ask the commission to weigh in on.
All right, thank you. My last question is regarding the water affordability package of bills that's in committee right now. Are you familiar with that? And can you talk about how this package of bill could impact Macomb County residents?
Sure. It's a relatively complex package, and I think that if I gave you an answer on how it's going to impact Macomb residents, there would be people that disagreed with me and how I think. I think Senator Chang is moving a package of bills that will help folks that can't afford to pay their water bill with a specific fee that allows for individuals that it is, as you mentioned, kind of called the water affordability package. Candace Miller was very immediate in her opposition and making sure that she would be engaging on behalf of the county in opposition, but has been regularly working with Senator Chang and others to try to get to a place where the county can be supportive or neutral or even to a place where they can allow for the communication to the delegation to be supportive. I think the question is as much to this body and to the elected leadership in the county on where folks should be on the package, but Senator Chang's working really hard to try and move the package through the Senate first and try to get it all the way, but it's an uphill battle. She's got a lot of work to do. And we'll just see kind of how it plays out.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Zinner. Oh, Nard, sorry, Commissioner Nard.
I heard you say, there was a lot of billions of dollars that came through. Do you see, and I'm happy to know that Macomb County has received it, but I'm going to speak specifically about the third largest city in this county, the largest city in this county and the third largest city in the state. Do you see any more money coming to deal with the aging infrastructure there and underground infrastructure in that city particularly? Because as I spoke to different people, there's never, to their knowledge, there's never been anything done with the aging infrastructure, and we really need to see something. So do you see anybody bringing in bills to bring money to that area specifically?
I would say just in general with regards to the infrastructure, the obviously we worked alongside the elected leadership in the first go round of ARPA dollars. We got 77 million in underground infrastructure. I'd have to go back to look and where some of that went. Candace Miller did a lot of really good work with the legislature to secure some of that, but it's a statewide problem. The underground infrastructure, roads dollars that are there really in these one-time dollars, through 2024, 25, that the queue is kind of, the projects are teed up. 2026 is a pretty significant fall off. And the road builders, a lot of the folks that deal with the infrastructure and underground infrastructure have approached the legislature to try to get a package. They've asked for almost $4 billion in new money annually to fill that gap. What the legislature does, we don't know. We're so far away from some sort of revenue enhancement on what the legislative makeup will even be in 2025 when they have to decide stuff like this. So specific to the city, there haven't been individual bills, but I'm sure that there will be in the budget, and we'll be watching for it.
Yeah, definitely, because I definitely need to know that, because that's what I'm getting as I see residents in the grocery stores and things. So I'm glad that mine's going up, because she's, specifically in Warren, and I'm praying that we get more things coming that way, because this is what the citizens are asking for. And it's just as if that area has been kind of neglected. When I went before the legislator before in Washington, I didn't really have much to say, and I want to be able to have things to say as I go to these different events. So please let me know what these people are bringing, because that's going to be very important when the people are deciding who they're going to elect to send up to Lansing. They want people that are going to actually talk about what's going on in Warren. And I sat back for the last 3 years and really just watched. That's why I'm glad now we get a 4-year term. It gives me more time where I don't have to worry about, worrying about getting elected the next year after I get in there. Now I can kind of sit back and talk to more people and make sure that third largest city in the state is getting more of those dollars that are coming. So
Yeah,
please keep me up to date.
and Senator Bueno and the folks that have represented Warren have done a phenomenal job, and I would encourage you to move any sort of projects or specific things that you have through them and through us, and we're happy to go to work.
You got to put something out there for me to move it. I mean,
Right.
that's what I want to know. Are they putting stuff out there so that I can come to the board and say, hey, can we do a resolution to help move that out of committee? So please let me know what they're putting down so that
Will
I
do.
can work on it.
Will do. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Center.
Thank you, Chair. I'm glad that people, there are X amount of people that think Lansing is doing such a great job. I heard from 2 commentators on the news recently that the Office of the Auditor General exposed serious problems in Governor Whitmer's administration, and I'm not picking on Governor Whitmer. The legislature has put out quite a few bills that are of great concern to many citizens. And to me, there is concern, and many citizens are concerned. It's a shame when bipartisan is one person from the other side, but it's a shame when agendas are set forth instead of what's best for the people. And this Auditor General, to my understanding, is truly bipartisan as a group. And they've been beaten down pretty bad for speaking up about things that are of concern, great concern. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Perna.
Clarification, many, many years ago, this Board of Commissioners had our own legislative consultant from Lansing. Do you work for the Board of Commissioners, or do you work for the County Exec's office?
Well, we were the legislative consultant for the Board of Commissioners, and when it transitioned to the executive form under the charter, we maintain representation of the county.
So you're under the direction of the County Exec as our legislative individual,
Yeah, and
not the Board of Commissioners.
sure, and we maintain close relationship with the chair, as we have through several chairs to date, to make sure that they're always informed and that we're taking any direction that we're getting.
Commissioner Brown, do you know when we left as a representative for the Board of Commissioners? We'd had that many, many years ago. Did we just do away with it, or is it?
Well, like you said, when we transitioned to the charter, the full-time county executive, that lobbyist that was with us before, they were our lobbyist for the longest time. And so when they transferred over, just because the administration, the county executive runs the administration of the county, they report to the county executive, but we write the checks to pay them, and they're very responsive to us, and I'm on the phone often with them, advocating things that this board passes, with resolutions that we pass for support. We're trying to stay away from Lansing subjects on our board, because it's not our issues, but, things come up from time to time, like lobbying for the jail money and helping set up meetings. We went through them to help us set up meetings. Carol Hall and I went up to Lansing a couple times, and so we work closely with them, it's true.
I was not confused. I didn't know if you represented us directly or you represent the County Exec.
The county, we're one county, they represent the county, and, so, when we got issues, they're up there helping us get our issues or concerns directly. I'm sure the county exec's got issues too that he's got that they may raise, but really, we're on the same team, so they're generally county issues, generally.
As long as we're on the same team. Thank you.
Well, if they were working against something that this board wanted to bring out, we wouldn't write the checks anymore.
Okay.
Because we put the money in the budget. So, I have a question for you, 2 questions. We're actually more of a note for you. We're tracking the Michigan Defense Center. We're waiting for the governor to appoint a director of the Michigan Defense Center, because it's very important that Michigan speak with one voice going to Washington. As we're advocating for maintaining our assets here in Macomb County. We got, the military, the Warren, Take Arsenal down at Warren, and we got Selfridge. We're both working to try to keep them, and we've got good synergies going on throughout the state to try to keep those missions in place. But part of that also relies our defense sector, our defense industries here in Macomb County, and we need the state to take a stronger role in tying all the parts together. Grand Rapids has a big defense organization that they're supporting their local areas. We do here in Macomb, and so does Alpena, but they all are trying to chirp more for their own issues rather than collectively. And a united voice tied together by the governor appointing a leader or a director from the Defense Center is something that's going to be welcome news when it happens, because we can really combine all our forces to make us more effective as a state. The next time a BRAC comes around in our state, to fight together rather than individually. So if you could track that, I'd appreciate it. I know they're getting close. I keep hearing they're being close, but I've been hearing that for a long time, and that'd be important to us, because I'm on the Aerospace and Defense Task Force here in the county, working with the private sector as well as the local governments to try to promote the industry here, and it'd be helpful. Another one is, there's so many bills out there that are floated out there waiting to get started or get in the can. Where is the statewide septic ordinance? Because the state's got a proposal up there to have a statewide septic ordinance that will force Macomb County into another program that really won't work for us. And so I'm curious, where is that? If you've heard anything about that one?
Yeah, I think it goes into the bucket of all of these, large conceptual packages that the governor and the administration is going to have to weigh in on where they're going to end up, with a lot of these bills. So there's a lot of confusion with, that piece of it, but you could take almost any subject area, and there's big ideas that have been floated out that are being work grouped, that are, water affordability is a good example of that. That's a regional concept. The Public Safety Trust Fund that passed the House, 4505 and 4506, I believe it is, that will put substantial money back into cities and localities with violent crime rates, and create a new fund specifically for that. You've got the local revenue sharing trust. A lot of this stuff costs money. The septic piece is no different. Senator Singh is the one that came out and is pushing some of that stuff. It has received substantial pushback, and until they've got some consensus, it will sit there. I will say this about any time you have one party control in Lansing, they can get on the same page in about an hour and pass something. And so for us, we're constantly making sure that as it's introduced, they get a contact. As there's a committee hearing, they make sure that we're watching it, that the county's watching it, and anytime it starts to move. Because if you're not, and they get on the same page, and it can get on the governor's desk and get signed relatively quickly. So it is in that bucket of a number of different bills. And another reason why I think it would be prudent to come back in 30, 45 days for an update, because these are the types of things that could move before the summer break.
Well, we'll definitely know that, and keep the stream of communications you've done previously as these things start moving to let us know about it, and we'd appreciate it. I know Michigan Associated County is very interested in some of those things, and we share their views on most everything there, and so appreciate it. Commissioner Haw in the first round.
Thank you, Chair. Gary, maybe you need to explain the role of a lobbyist, who establishes your priorities, and the fact you don't get involved whether or not it's partisan, bipartisan, nonpartisan. So everybody understands there's a lot of people sitting here that have never dealt, probably to their benefit, with a lobbyist. But nevertheless, I think it would help with that explanation.
Sure. We've represented the county, I believe, since sometime in the early 1990s. And of course, we're direct representative of the board before the executive form of government and the charter. But we spend a lot of time with different staff, with different department heads, as they have issues that they float through the executive office or some of the other countywide electeds to try and fix problems that the county may have, try to flag stuff where you kind of put it in two different areas. One would be offense, right? Going to Lansing and fighting for dollars and trying to bring as many dollars back to the county as possible, because I would say this, that Kent County has a lobbyist, right? Northern Michigan is filled with organizations that have lobbyists and advocates, and they are in Lansing fighting for the same pot of dollars that we fight for on behalf of the county. And so we spent a lot of time trying to identify what are the priorities, whether it's the roads department or public works or anything else, and trying to fight for those within the parameters that are kind of set forth within the legislative budget. The defense is just as substantial. You can imagine there's 110 reps and 38 senators, and a lot of them come to Lansing with ideas that aren't great for Macomb County. And so we quickly work to educate the delegation on whether it be this body or individual department might be on a specific package, and make sure that they understand that, their community could be negatively impacted if it's not passed. Get them as much information as possible and try to act really as a liaison between back here in Macomb and up in Lansing, and kind of real time information and getting to the bottom of whatever it might be as quickly as possible.
Thank you. And the establishment of the quarterly report that we receive from you, I think, is very beneficial. And I do want to remind my colleagues, these are state issues. We're not putting them on the government ops agenda. If you have a need for a status of something, go through the chair, ask him to contact Gary, and we'll get the status. Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Song on the second round.
Thank you, Chair. To Commissioner Perna's point, though, I mean, during the budget cycle, if the board wanted to have its own lobby, I think that would be something that, someone could entertain. And I think because we are the legislative body of county government, I think we should work more closely with our lobbyists when it comes to legislation that impacts Macomb County. But I do want to say that I think it would be great for you to come back in May to give the board an update, because so much is going on. And I think being here, more than once a year will be very, very beneficial to the board. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Meyer, we're looking forward to having you be our personal lobbyist now, you and Veronica up there. So we'll have you on speed dial. We know you know the county, so very good. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much. We'll have you back in May or
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, everybody, for having us.
Good. There's a motion on the floor to receive and file. Can I please vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're just going to do that from now on, all right? All right. Item 10, Internal Services Committee. I need a motion to approve items 10A through D.
Mr. Chair, can I separate out items A and B, please?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
We'll take a motion on items C through D.
So moved by Nard.
Support.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Commissioner Kraft on items 10A and B. Is this what I'm separate? Okay. Anyone want to discuss anything on those two items? All right, all those in favor of 10A and B, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Right. Okay, very good. All right.
Do we have a no button?
Item 11, Public Services Committee recommendations. I need a motion to approve items 11A through G.
So moved, Perna.
Support.
Any discussion on those? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Chair, would you like to, I'm sorry, one more time explain to the audience while we do this in tandem?
Yeah. for the members of the public, we're also, these items have been talked about and debated sometimes in the previous month, sometimes months previously. So these are the final culmination of previous discussions. So the boards are, last chance for the board to take any testimony on this before we vote on them. So
Thank you, Chair.
thank you, Commissioner, for reminding me. Item 12, Health and Human Services Committee recommendations. Need a motion to approve items 12A through D.
So moved by Nard.
Support. Is there any discussion on any of these items? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item 13, Records and Public Safety Committee. I need a motion to approve items 13A through C.
Moved by Romano.
Support.
Any discussion on any of these items? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item 14, Finance, Audit, and Budget Committee recommendations. I need a motion to approve items 14A to 14D. Need a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion on any of these items? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item 15 is correspondence. Need a motion to receive and file correspondence 15A through C.
So moved by Nard.
Support.
Any discussion on any of these? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 16, Board Office Update. Crystal, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. I thought I would just take this time to remind you of some of the things we have going on in the background here. Our Casual Day program has collected over $1,600 so far this year from the county departments. We're currently working on the March and April newsletter. Kyle's working with Commissioner Ha to set up the kickoff meeting for the child support work group that you established. The Tri-County Green School celebration in March has been fully planned and the invitation sent to the schools. We've set the date, booked the venue, and identified topics for the 2024 Tri-County Summit. Our OAAC will hold its third meeting of the year next Tuesday at 3 p.m. in the committee room here. Adriana has been working hard with the members to organize, track, and help them accomplish the goals they have set for this next term under the leadership of Commissioner Zinner. Our volunteer recognition reception has also been planned, and we are currently receiving nominations. Commissioners are not required to nominate anyone. We are receiving nominations from the entire public. If you do wish to do so, you can nominate one person, and Laura will be reaching out to you after the deadline of April 5th to choose the two you want to recognize at the ceremony. The Yoga at the Hill date has been set, and the registration form for that will be coming out very soon. We are in the final setup stage for IQ, our new constituent management software. Staff has been participating in about 1 to 3 meetings a week on that, and we'll all be training the first week of April. We'll be doing testing the week after that, and are expected to have a tentative rollout at the end of April. Mary's going to be our main user of that system, and she'll be able to help you with your outreach and your constituent communication. And finally, I know you have all witnessed the problems we've been having voting and civic clerk, despite Luke's constant communication with them and their release of several attempted fixes. We are in discussions with IT on what our next steps should be there. That's all I had for today. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, the next steps with this system is to go out for a new system. So we're going to be talking to IT about that, so. Any questions for Crystal on this item? I don't see any. All right, need a motion, receive and file.
So moved.
There's support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item carries. Item 17 is public participation. It's an opportunity for the public who wishes to speak in any subject they like for a maximum of 3 minutes. Anyone from the public wish to be heard, step to the podium. You have state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Matt?
Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Todd Russell Perkins. I'm an attorney that has represented and continued to represent the prosecutor. I do apologize about my tardiness. I like to be on time, but I wasn't able to assuage my schedule to be here when you started at 3 o'clock, so I hope you can accept my apology. In the interim, I hope that you have, all the board members have received a letter that I wanted to present to you and really just highlight some points that I made in that letter. And I don't know if anyone did not receive it. I would like to at least provide a copy and run down to my car. I just ran up when I parked. But again, may it please this honorable body, I have a client who, in Pete Lucido, Pete has fought for this county, and he continues to fight for this county to, I think, right size the mechanism in being the law enforcement arm, and I think that many people think he's doing an excellent job. I think that this, I believe that this commission and this board believes that, as the board had previously approved resolutions for these part-time positions that he had. When it became clear that those weren't going to be able to be filled because of disruption in the process, rebuffing from the executive branch, a lawsuit was filed. In that time, in that short period of time, from last week until now, we just received notice, my client called me last night, received notice that there is a resolution to include Pete Lucido, along with the county executive, who now asks for 4 additional positions himself. Where Pete followed the process, he followed all the rules and awaited the decision of this board. And I believe the board found it necessary, those positions that he was asking for, as being necessary. That's the reason why I believe this board approved that. Now, my client is set to be tied with another resolution that ties into the county executive.
Council, you have 1 minute.
Understood. And I'll say this, what we don't have is an opportunity to be heard, for the public to be heard on this. What we don't have is an opportunity to understand why the urgency and why so expeditiously we've learned that the county exec wants to be tied in, or in a resolution to have his positions alongside Pete Lucido's. I think that the process is not transparent, as this board always has been. This board has been fiscally conservative. You monitor and you watch over your people's money. And I think that in this situation, it has the appearance that it's not. And I think that the appearance of something can also be conveyed to be in reality. And I don't think that's necessarily the reality, but we don't know why. Why the urgency, and my client deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'll be very to the point. You went ahead and appropriated a budget of over $1 billion. You cut the executive by about $500,000, and now you want to put $400,000 in without having a hearing and a fully vetted committee process. That's unfortunate for the taxpayers. That's unfortunate for the members that are on this board that serve the taxpayers. We have always gone through committee. I have gone through committee each and every time for public safety, as well as other things that I need in my office. This is tied to our office, which I do not want and I do not agree with, and I say no to this resolution because I'm standing here today tied up with something else that doesn't need any support. Why wouldn't this be vetted the proper way? Why was this resolution filed at 4:45 last night? Why wasn't this done properly through a committee process where all of you are responsible to the taxpayers? I don't know if you even have somebody to speak on that issue, but if you do, I'd like to hear it too as a taxpayer. But because of the fact that Mr. Perkins, my attorney, made it pretty clear that, look, we shouldn't be a party to this resolution. We are taking our day in court, which the judge has said will be expedited. And as a result, all you're doing is hindering and obstructing my right to run my office appropriately with the assets that you appropriated and voted on, even over the vetoes. I appreciated that. But when I wasn't getting the cooperation from the executive's departments, I came to you, and I want to make sure that I get my day in court. Please vote this resolution down. It's uncalled for the way it's written. All of you will be held accountable to your voters when you're up for election because it's not done this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else want to be heard from the public? Anyone from the public wish to be heard?
This will be a lot lighter.
Thank you.
Donna Cangemi.
And Lori Phillips.
We wanted to say thank you so much for your vote on reconfirmation on this Community Mental Health Board. We really appreciate it.
And I said for 6 years I've been doing this, and it means a lot to me. It's important to me, and both of us take our jobs very seriously on this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else wish to be heard under public comment? Anyone else under public comment?
Fred Deanstead, Clinton Township. I'd like to know what the board's responsibility and role will be with this recent fire explosion in Clinton Township. Very concerned about the site today. Is the site officially safe? Can investigators actually look into this site? Is there an official report that is going to be produced for the commission or for the county executive's office? The concern is real, and I'd hope that the commission would take that in such a way. We have to know everything that occurred at this site. Obviously, there's an investigation that could be criminal, and I want everyone to know that right now it's safe. So somehow, can there be some sort of declaration that everything is reasonably or actually safe for people to start investigating that site today? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else under public comment? Please step forward.
Thank you very much, Board, for letting me speak. My name is Paul Schorsch. I live at 38057 Moravian Drive, approximately 2 miles from the explosion site. When it was going off, my granddaughters were in the basement, safe, but they were bawling their eyes out and wanted it to stop. And I didn't know what to tell them, but sooner or later, it's going to stop. It went on for like 45 minutes. They were terrified to death. The house was shaking. The windows were shaking. Now, what I want to know, these people running this business, was any of them illegal immigrants? And what started it? Maybe Pete can give me some answers about this. Maybe any of you guys can give me some answers about this. I just don't want any of this stuff like this happening anymore, ever again. It should never have happened. That young man should have never died. You know, I really feel sorry for the family, and everybody had to leave their homes. The American dream, they had to vacate their homes, all right? Listen, we got to take care of this right now. Good investigation, and whoever's responsible, they need to be accountable. And maybe possibly, one other thing is, hopefully we can squeeze some money together, get that Moravian road fixed and the bike path, finished. All right, thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else under public comment wish to be heard? Anyone else under public comment? One more time. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Commissioner comments, you skip.
Commissioners' comments?
Oh, Commissioner's comments, sorry, yeah, one more time, yeah, Commissioner's comments. Commissioner Sabatini, do you have a comment? Commissioner Kraft.
I just want to thank everybody for the votes and the reappointment to the CMH board as well. We do have a great group, and I'm excited to be on the board for another 3 years. So thank you all very much. Thank you,
We
Mr.
very
Chair.
appreciate your leadership there, Commissioner Kraft, and all the members who work tirelessly towards the mental health in this environment today is becoming apparent that we haven't paid enough attention to it in, the past generations, but we're making amends now. We're good moving forward, so thank you. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay, seeing none, we'll close commissioner comments. Now a motion to go to executive session.
Support.
All those in favor of going to executive session, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. We're now in executive session. Those are not part of the executive session need to be excused. Thank you. Oh, we need a roll call vote, commissioners. Commissioners, we need a roll call vote. We need a roll call vote. We're back to regular session. Commissioner Hall.
Chair, I'll make the motion to adopt Resolution 2024-1225, a resolution supporting 2024 budget amendment for purpose of funding obtaining personnel positions, conditionally rescinding Resolution number 2024-12033 and denying Resolution number 2024-12034. Macomb County prosecutors pending request to pursue litigation against county executive. Mr. Attorney, do I need to read the rest of this?
You do not.
No.
Sir? No.
No, you don't. Is there support for that motion?
Chair, I'll support. You missed a 2, Commissioner Hall. It's 2024-12225.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you. These don't look.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Mai. I'm sorry.
Don't tell her, Sarah.
Oh, she's a long way from. All right. Any discussion? Please call a vote.
Oh, it works.
Working.
Is it working?
Yep. Oh, Romano's didn't work.
What the hell?
Mine, I voted.
Did you vote?
Commissioner Romano, if you'd like to voice vote, it looks like the system didn't prompt for
I
you.
voted yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 9 to 2 to 1. Commissioners Grot and Perna voting no. Commissioner Nard abstaining.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, point of order.
Yes.
Can we get a reason for the sustaining? I thought there was something that, there's something in our bylaws that says you sustain. There has to be a reason for it.
Chair,
We changed that last time.
We changed it last time. You don't have
Yep.
to say anything?
Yeah, we changed, yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Need a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Support? Please vote.
Motion passes 12 to 0.
Very good. Thank you, commissioners.